Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about Solana's new product, the Saga phone. I watched the live stream earlier on, and I basically have some thoughts. I previously come from a tech background, and I used to actually review phones and apps, and I used to actually work for Samsung and Sony selling phones. So I'm quite into this industry, especially tech and phones, and so that also helped me actually get into crypto. But anyway, today I want to talk about what my thoughts are, what the actual phone is. I'm going to go over the phone and just general my thoughts and basically how it affects the competition. So right off the bat, we can see the specs here. It runs on Android 13, display 6.6 inches, battery a bit small for my liking actually. Currently the industry average is around 5,000, but anyway, we'll see depending on how efficient the phone is. It could actually give you 1 day. As long as it gives you 1 day worth of usage, I think it's good enough. Camera 50 megapixel, performance, it's got a processor of Snapdragon 8, which is roughly around what most phones have, variations of Snapdragon 8. So RAM 12 gigabytes, which is very normal. It's around 8 to 16 nowadays, and internal 512 with a micro SD card option of half a terabyte. So this is actually something that's a very big plus point for the phone in terms of memory. It's got quite a lot. Most phones nowadays, flagship, don't even have a micro SD slot, and this one does, and it has, you can add another extra half a terabyte, which is really good. So in terms of storage, it's I will give it A plus, A star. Does some water resistance, usual, and the material is ceramic, stainless steel with titanium accents. Price is going to be roughly $1,000, and public sale is going to be around May, and shipping starts on 8th of April. So overall, for the price, the specs are very reasonable. Only thing is, personally, design wise, I don't like these camera, how this camera looks, and also the accent buttons. But I guess with the case you can cover it up, so that's that. But the camera, which, they just done it like bottom, and obviously it's got that's the fingerprint recognition, so that's good. So overall, in terms of specs, it's just another really good Android phone. Basically, with the specs, is very reasonable for the price. The What's unique about it, it's got something called the Solana mobile stack, which basically has two major features. So one is the seed vault. So this is basically, I'm not sure if you guys heard, but there's something called TEE, trusted execution environment, and this is basically where your seed is actually going to, your crypto wallet, your actual seed phrase will be in that place. So it's much more secure than how phones currently do it. I believe this is what Samsung Knox also does. I'm not 100% sure, but it's very similar technology that they're going to use. And also, it's going to have a dApp store. So this is very good. So decentralized apps, they don't need to ask for permission, etc. They can just go on their dApp store, right? So this is very good, because obviously we've seen recently, I'll talk about this more, but Apple has basically got a monopoly on their app store, right? And so this could be good for a lot of decentralized application for developers, etc. So if you plan to buy the phone, you get some rewards. You get a Genesis token, and you get some USDC, you get some Solana. So obviously you can pay for the fees of the dApps, etc., especially when you get started, and then you get roughly about $50 to $100 worth of rewards, which makes the phones about $900 depending on how you look at it. But I expect, depending on how the demand goes, the phone might actually come down. Usually Android phones come down quite fast, but that's because a lot of Android phones are being made. But this one, I guess it would depend, because obviously it doesn't have that much competition currently in terms of many other crypto phones, right? So general, the phone seems very good. Like for crypto people, it seems very good. I'll talk about more of if it's worth a buy or not, in my personal opinion. More about that later, but I just want to talk about more on Apple's monopoly. So this obviously introduces another player in the ecosystem. You've seen Apple previously, they're abusing their power, and they've actually been told by Apple has been charged with breaking EU competition rules with the way it runs its app store. They've been going back and forth with Spotify for a very long time. I'm not sure if you guys know about that, but you guys can read up about that. Apple and Spotify had long been having a feud over, how Apple basically deals with some of their, and so some of the apps that trying to be on the App Store. And so we've even seen recently issues, Coinbase have issues with this as well, where Apple asked for 30% of fees of the Ethereum blockchain, which is basically impossible. So you can see here, you might have noticed that you can't send NFTs to Coinbase wallet anymore. Apple claims that the gas fees required to send NFTs need to be paid through their in-app purchase system so that they can collect 30% of the gas. For anyone who understands how NFTs and blockchain work, this clearly not possible. Apple's proprietary technology, sorry, I can't say that word, but in-app purchase system does not support crypto, so we couldn't comply even if we tried, right? So it just goes to show how absurd Apple is, right? I mean, they're asking for something that doesn't even make sense. It's not even possible to do. I'm not even sure who has communicated this with, with Coinbase from Apple's side, but it just clearly shows Apple's lack of understanding of how crypto works, right? And so that's all these things just show that there's a problem in the market that definitely has a lot of people, wanting a better solution. So we've seen other people try in the past. We've seen a phone by HTC, the Exodus One. It didn't really take off much, but I think with the Solana phone, there are things that potentially give it a better edge. We've seen Syrian Labs as well. They famously done that partnership with, I think it was Messi, and so we've seen these phones come and go. They didn't really make a big impact. They weren't really, the average consumer didn't really buy these. Probably more of a like collector kind of phone, or a few enthusiasts bought it. But but I think with the Solana phone, it'll be different because they've got a big ecosystem, they've got a token, they've got more incentives, they've got a big community. I think that's what actually is different about this phone compared to other phones. But I guess we'll see. And obviously, they've got fierce competition as well with Samsung. With the same price, around $1,000, you can basically buy the latest Samsung phone, right? So what's the incentive for someone to not buy a Samsung phone with the credibility, and the assurance that Samsung gives, and buy that phone instead, right? And so that's why I believe, they need to actually have a really good Android phone first, with all the features that you can get with Samsung anyway, with the crypto features on top, and that's how we would succeed. Whereas with Apple users, with the Apple $1,000, you can pretty much get the latest phone as well. With Apple users, I don't think an Apple user will actually buy this phone, because Apple users are basically in the ecosystem. They have headphones, they've got a tablet, they've got a watch or something. They're not gonna buy an Android phone. It's just my personal opinion. And if they do, they won't ditch the Android phone. They'll basically buy another phone. They'll have two phones basically. I mean, Android phone, I can see them doing that as well. I'm buying it as the Saga phone as a second phone, but definitely with iPhone users, I'm pretty sure they'll just have it as a second phone. They won't actually ditch their iPhone to buy the Saga phone. So personally, what would I do? Who's this phone for? I believe the phone is for basically enthusiasts that love crypto, that have extra money to spare, and they don't mind holding like maybe a second phone and giving it a try, right? And then obviously, depending on the reviews, I guess the sales will go up and down. But me personally, I think I'm gonna wait for the second gen. I personally don't like phones of this size anyway. Around 7 inches. I like. I'm personally right now I got S22, which is 6 inch, 6.1, I believe, screen size. And so because I got small hands, so I don't personally prefer like these big phones. But depending on the review, maybe I will actually change my mind. If the reviews are very good, I might actually still get it. So I guess we'll see. But that's my overall thought, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.